What's up? All right. Dude, I don't know. I hate this music. It's either this. I can only pick categories of music on the stream. And the one that gives the just only decent music is chill hop. But even sometimes it gives me this music. And I'm just like, I wish I could just pick the songs. And it wasn't like a copyright thing. All right. So let's look through the scores here. I was on the verge of KO waiting. Canes, man, Miami's starting to they're just rattling off wins, man. It's pretty insane. If you had told me like 2 weeks ago that Miami would, what is it at this point? They've won what, 5 or is it more? 5 or 6 straight ACC games. What's up, fellas? What's up, Coog? What's up, man? All right, so Coastal Carolina. Wait. All right, Coastal Carolina beats James Madison. Georgia wins the series against Oklahoma. It's boring. Shut up, please, Dusty. Bro, we beat the snot out of BC today. Yeah, I know. I saw it was a really big win. NC State sweeps Clemson. Like the ACC standings in the last week and a half have like totally flipped. It's crazy. Clemson's 13-8 now in ACC play. And NC State now is 15-6. I mean, NC State's leading the ACC now, and well on their way to a national seed. I mean, that's where they're headed right now. Florida State, Louisville tied the series, so that's a big rubber match tomorrow. Georgia Tech is code red, boys. Yeah, I mean it's really. It is crunch time tomorrow. You feel like you have to get a win tomorrow if you have any chance of recovering a host spot. It was without a doubt our best game. We threw out 4 BC runners. They haven't stolen one meaningful base on us all series. Yeah, I mean, and that's a key for them, right? Because their offense is highly predicated on stealing bases, putting pressure on the defense. Let's see the rest of these games. Troy beats Texas State. Alabama sweeps Missouri. Missouri is now 0-21 in the SEC. Crazy. Southern Miss beats App State. Arizona beats Texas Tech 2-1. North Carolina loses to Pitt today. Series is split. And it's really shocking me because I expected us to lose to them before the season because of how much they steal and play small ball. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but no, I mean, Miami's just playing well, man. I mean, I think Miami, they're playing, there's a spectrum for each team is according to their talent, like how well they can really play. And I think Miami's really playing close to the top of their spectrum right now, right? Which means you're still going to see some games where you're like, how the hell did we pull that out? Opening night? I think it was like, what, 3 hits and 2 runs? And you win the game, right? That means you're playing at the high end when you can you win games like that. And like Georgia Tech's at the exact opposite right now. Georgia Tech's like they're playing just all the way at the bottom, and the pitching staff did well today for the most part. But just the offense, it's just. You felt like they broke out yesterday with 9 runs, but today it was just it couldn't get anything going at all until the 9th inning, pretty much. Did you see the video of the UCF player talk? Yeah, I did. I saw it, Zach. I saw it earlier today, and then you sent it to me. And again, that's what you get. When you celebrate and you glorify the players that are like talking trash when they do something like even semi decent. that's what you're going to get. You're going to get, it's going to be, kids want to be that dude on the field so bad that they forget that it's not the third out. They throw the ball away and then the team ties the game. Like that is, again, there are no solutions. There are only trade-offs, and the trade-off of allowing players to act like that on the field, and then for all the TV, ESPN, everything to kind of magnify it, and then like you're inevitably going to get that's going to happen where the player just like he cares more about talking trash than like what's going on in the game, what the situation is. Let's see. That's today's generation of player, unfortunately. That's right, Zach. I'm really concerned for Georgia Tech. They haven't won a game since the Auburn midweek. Yeah, no, it's just been an unmitigated disaster. There's no other way to look at it. I mean, it's, you 7 or 8 straight losses. Is that what I think? 7 straight, maybe? Bet D1 baseball still has Oregon State as a national seed this week. Yeah, I mean, 100%, dude. They will. You know that. I mean, Oregon beats them 13-1. Like, what have we been saying this whole time? It's like Oregon State's not even close to the best team on the West Coast, and they're like projected. They're number 3 in the country by D1 baseball right now. They're the 3rd best team in the country, and Oregon beat them 13-1 today. That doesn't happen. 3 hits on 2 bunts. Yeah, Canes. I don't even know how you guys pulled that one out. And 2 of those 3 hits yesterday were bunts from Professor Rosenthal. Yeah, that's, I mean, how do you get 2 runs out of that? Was there a 2-run homer? Was the other hit a 2-run homer? Or were there, a lot of walks or something? It was insane and actually a great game. I met a BC booster, very nice guy. Cool. UVA starter was legit. Really impressed. Yeah, I thought so too. Lefty arm. I mean, I couldn't really see the velo on TV. They were saying, I think he was like low 90s up to maybe 94. Good changeup. That's all you have a really good changeup and you have that velo as a lefty. You're going to be pretty good. Really impressed. Yeah, that is today's generation of players, unfortunately, always looking to go viral. Yep. It's really a shame how Georgia Tech is sliding. You'd like to see Danny Hall go out better. Yeah, there's still time to turn it around, Professor Rosenthal. But it's also, it's kind of like it's got to happen now. Like you still have time, but it's like, it'd be really good to get a win on Sunday, to get a win tomorrow. What's up, fellas? What's up, Barks? Zach, did you see the umpire in the LSU Tennessee game yesterday trying to make it out about himself? That's eyewash. It's like if the guy hit a walk-off home run. And again, I don't like when they turn around and like they start they start doing their thing to like the opposing dugout and they're talking trash to him. I don't like that part of it, but like he hit a walk off, let him pimp it, like celebrate, throw his hands up. It's a walk off home run in a massive series. And yeah, the umpire, it's like I've never seen an umpire look like that. Like really that upset about it. Yeah, and I've seen guys pimp it and like cuss out the umpire or cuss out the pitcher, and the umpire didn't move like that. All right, let's see here. Pass ball, their catcher is not good. He was horrible again today. Oh, geez. I can't believe Tennessee lost that game last night. Yeah. Yeah, but LSU and Tennessee, I feel like they match up really well. I said this before the series. I think Tennessee has a slight edge in all departments, but it's not much. Like it's not much. LSU matches up really well with Tennessee. And again, it's Tennessee. I give Tennessee an edge in pretty much every department, offensively, pitching, defense, but it's not much. And actually, LSU may be. I think LSU may be slightly better defensively. He has cost them 3 to 4 runs this series. One blessing about going to sleep at 9 p.m. was waking up at 12:30 and the LSU game was going on. What a game and finish. Yeah. We are officially concerned about Georgia Tech. Yeah, I agree, man. That's actually a situation I'm okay with pimping and celebrating a home run. Yeah. There's no old school guy in the game. Nobody. Again, they would not like the, turning and like taunting the other dugout, which is just like, that's what they do that in every game now. But like if you want to like throw the bat and you want to throw your hands up and jump up and down, like no old school guy would disagree with that, because it's like the moment justifies that kind of exuberance and celebration. It's just like when when they do that on the solo shot down 5 in the in the 8th inning, that's when it's like, okay, like we're still down by 4 runs. I hate Tennessee and Vitello. Dusty, I don't I know you say that, but I think I think you would totally disagree if you were like if you were a player for him, from what I've heard. Like I've heard you would totally disagree. Was Dusty on the call for Georgia Tech today? No, he was not. They brought in the ringer Bobby Moe. They brought Bobby Moe in from the bullpen to close the thing out. And where is Buck B? Don't run now that Dusty is in the chat. That's true. That's true. Buck B. Hey, Dusty, by the way, Buck B was talking a little bit of smack when you weren't in the stream last night. He was talking some serious smack. I can't even Canes, do you remember what he said? I mean, it was jokingly, but I can't remember what he said. Do you remember, Canes? Georgia Tech from national seed to bubble. Again, like, man, it would be like, let's play it like this. The likelihoods of like Georgia Tech just like never playing any better than they are right now. Like they fall off a cliff and they go like, what, 14 and like 16? Like they lose the rest of the games. There's a small percentage chance that could happen. I think it's unlikely. I still think the most likely outcome for Georgia Tech is that they figure it out, whether it's tomorrow or next Friday, and they finish strong enough to be like 18 and 12. And then they're probably not, I mean, they're not getting a national seed at that point, but they're still in the hosting conversation, but it's going to be close. Because, I mean, based on the projections I'm seeing, like, it doesn't look like an 18 and 12 team from the ACC is going to get a host, which is like insane to me. But from all the projections I've read into or I've looked over, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be tough for an 18 and 12 ACC team to get a host. I could be wrong, but like just based on all the projections, that's what it looks like. All right, let's see here. Yeah, they're not on the bubble. Yeah, we're not on the bubble, but we keep playing the way we're playing right now. We could be on the bubble. Like that's legit. They still have 3 more wins than us. Yeah, I mean, true. He said he was a coward, I believe. Do not quote me. It was close to that. Why did Gavin Cash get ejected? I didn't see. I'm guessing, dude. I'm guessing he said something stupid to an opposing team or something. I mean, like these kids like say like nasty stuff to each other, like on the field, and they're fake tough. Like most of them are just fake tough. Like that. You wouldn't want the guy in a foxhole with you, and he's like acting all tough and big on national television. That's kind of the vibe you get. Is that's the reality for a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. Like they're it's just for show. It's a show. Like it's just for them possibly going viral, stuff like that. Buckby didn't like my call. All fair because I'm depressed. No. He it wasn't about that. He was saying it was something else. They're on the bubble now. If they lose these next 2 ACC series and go one and done in the ACC tournament, they may not make it. Definitely not on the bubble now, Zach. Like, definitely not. Like, definitely not in the bubble. I think we're still top 5 in the ACC record overall. So like that team's not going to be left out of the tournament. But certainly, if they keep playing the way they're playing, you're right. They will be on the bubble, and there's a possibility they wouldn't make the tournament. Like for sure, if they just kept playing like they're playing right now. because they're playing that bad. I think he loved your call, Dusty. I think he called you that for not showing up and telling Kyle you were mad and tired. Oh yeah, because you didn't show up after the game. That's what it was. Yeah. 18-12 as a host, man. Got to be. I agree, but I mean, when I'm looking at the projections, they're making it look like you're going to need to get like 19 or 20 wins to be, because like they're saying the ACC gets like 3 hosts out of 16, and right now, like we're not in the top 3 in the ACC, so. Okay, so let's see here. Zach, they're not on the bubble. Are they still top 4 if it ended today? Yeah. I think I know what Zach was trying to say was that, if they keep playing like this, that's what they'll be. Our bullpen rotation has cost us so many games. Was up 6-2 to GCU Tuesday, lost 7-6. Yeah, man. I mean, like bullpens are. I mean, that's very common, John, in college baseball. Like, there's a lot of teams whose bullpens are just like not good, and blow a lot of games. I mean, that was Georgia Tech for the last 4 years. You'd have an elite offense like they do this year, and they'd put up 10 runs per game, and you're losing a Sunday game 14-12 because your pitching staff can't give up less than that. Like that was the reality for a long time. So that's very normal, and it is frustrating, unbelievable, and it's pissing me off. Yeah, I mean it is. It's very frustrating. The pitchers were throwing heat too, John. High 90s. Yeah, I know. That's what John said. That's why it's surprising to me. I'm like, they may just be walking guys. I don't know. An NFL scout said that because some of these guys make so much, they feel so entitled. They go into meetings with NFL coaches, and some players are like, "Who are you to ask me these questions?" Wonder if that type of entitlement is happening in baseball also. I don't think the money is at a high enough level yet, Zach. It definitely will be at some point. Now, there are some players who kind of have that sway probably a little bit, even if they would have that sway if they were aware of it, right? The top tier player that's getting $200,000 or $300,000 right now in baseball would have that ability to kind of talk like that and probably get away with way more than he should. So if someone's not doing that, they definitely have the ability to do it. But that's a very, very small number of players. But certainly, I mean, as the sport continues to grow, like it is, I mean, we're gonna see that happen like very quickly. We're gonna see let me see this new. We're gonna see like players just, again, it's like free agency, right? So I'm only going to go somewhere where I can do this, and I'm allowed in my contract, I have to be able to do this. Like that's coming, man. That's coming. Without a doubt. I think Texas Tech is going to make a run. Yeah, I mean, they look like they're playing a little bit better, but I just don't think the run will matter. Like that's the issue for me, is they're 14-23. Like, there's just no way they can make it in. Unless they win the conference tournament. Yeah, they have to win the conference. Ever since I got into some friendly trash talk with their bullpen, they outscored opponents like 2-5 or 25-5. Well, it may be on you if they make a run, but I think it. Like they have to win their conference tournament because they just lost so many non-conference games. Their RPI's got. I mean, like, and this is how RPI is. Like my thinking, I'm like, their RPI's got to be terrible, and then someone's gonna tell me, oh, their RPI is like 33rd right now. Notre Dame making a run towards the bubble. Let me see. 7 straight wins for the Irish. That's crazy. I didn't even realize it was that big. Good for them, man. 7th. They were 2-14. And here comes LSU. 7 straight wins for the Irish. Just a monumental collapse. Dusty, are you just like repeating the same thing over and over again in your head? I think the SEC will get 7 to 8, and the ACC will get 5 or 6 hosts. That would be great. I don't know if it happens though. And Miami is inching closer and closer to hosting. I mean, like let's look at what Miami's. So Miami right now is what 11-9. Dude, if they get out of this weekend at 12-9, like you guys are like you're feeling pretty good about yourselves. Back-to-back home runs for LSU. I'm gonna pull up that game. I don't know why. You know what? For these night streams, I always pull up a game first to get it going, before I turn the stream on, and I just forgot to do it. One to eight to 12-9 is very likely. Yeah, I mean, you went 11-1. That's pretty good. Was it really 1-8? I don't even remember it being that bad. 1-8. All right, 2-7. Okay, I was about to say I don't remember it being 1-8. And I was about to say the math doesn't make sense because they've lost more than one game in the last 11 games, but it hasn't been much. So 2-7 to 12-9, so they went 10-2. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good question, Kyle. What's a good position player cost now in the NIL era? I mean, like your average guy is going to be, and we're talking like among the schools that provide like good NIL, right? We're not talking about schools like they got 50,000 NIL. Like in the SEC and the ACC, the schools that have big NIL, the guys that the top end guys that they're getting out of the portal are anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000. Most of those guys. Now, if they're like considered an elite guy, it's going to be north of 200 for a lot of those guys. But it's generally, that's kind of the average number. It was probably like 125. You know, that way, if that for a guy of that caliber. Now, I mean, you also have to think about it like this: if they bring in a bunch of portal guys, like that is going to squeeze the class as far as how much they can earn. Because a lot of these schools, they may have a lot of NIL money, but it's not unlimited, you know, so you can't, but it's going quickly. I mean, LSU I've heard is unlimited, but, you know, what I was told about LSU is you don't tell them, they don't have a budget. They just ask how much. Like, hey, how much you need? Like, okay, Tommy White, how much? 250? Okay, Tommy White, here we go. And he was really the first, he wasn't the first, but he was kind of the biggest name to go into the portal. Like, he's the one that really popularized that. Because he broke the freshman home run record at NC State, maybe even the home run record as a freshman at NC State. I can't remember which one it was, or maybe probably both of them. And started every game. And so, like, when the portal was a thing, nobody envisioned it turning into free agency. And yeah, Texas Tech. I mean, I've heard different things there, John. Yeah, it's not as much for baseball. A lot of that. Well, they told me to get my money up. I mean, that's what every program in the country is having right now. I mean, you're having 3 or 4 kind of fundraising meetings with like alumni and other people to try to get NIL funded. Dusty, I just answered that. Didn't you ask that like? Didn't you ask that like literally 5 seconds ago? I'll answer it again. A good position player in the ACC and the SEC, or one of like the premier NIL, the schools that are giving the big NIL money out, is like anywhere from 100 to 200. And an elite guy is like a Drew Burris would probably get like 300. If he went in the portal from whatever team, and maybe even more. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I think that number is going to grow every year, probably. So if it was 300 last year, is it going to be 350 this year? We have to wait and see. Did you see Nick Saban say today on ESPN they tried to get the West Virginia guard to transfer to them every year, but he was never entered into the portal? Yeah. I mean, it's open. I mean, the football coaches just tell you about it. Like it's like it's just out in the open. I mean, the tampering is unbelievable. And there's the way they get around it is they use burner phones and this stuff. And this stuff comes out all the time on in ESPN. Every once in a while you see an article about a coach, they caught us with a burner phone and all this stuff. Alan, what's up? Do pitchers get more or less typically than position player for NIL? I mean, it depends. It depends just entirely again on if you're like a bullpen arm, you're not going to get quite as much. If you're a bullpen arm, you may be getting in the 50 to 75, 80 range. If you're like maybe an elite considered bullpen arm, you may get around 100. The starting pitchers, like the guys who transfer in, are going to be like a weekend starter. Those guys are getting more, but from what I've heard, position players have been the ones to receive the biggest deals. 100 to 200K cap. Whatever you say, Dust. Don't worry, Dusty and Kyle. I've already done my scouting on your players. We'll be reaching out to some players. Oh, Cap, man. You're funny, dude. You're funny. Mississippi State even the series with Auburn. It's that time of night, man. I just can't stay up past like 11 o'clock hits, and I just die. This LSU Tennessee series has been really, it's been unbelievable so far. And it's just close game. Dylan Lloyd coming in for Tennessee from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. All right. Another reason why we're going to get more hosts is some of these teams are collapsing. Oregon State, Western Kentucky. Yeah, it's a good point. They lost a series to FIU. Yeah, I think that's a good point, Canes. I think that's a good point that some of these teams that are projected to get hosts right now, we all know are probably not going to be hosts. At the end of the day, who would you pick today to win or make Omaha? I think it's. There's only one team you can pick right now. It's Texas. They're just Slosh, Coach Slosh is just like, uh, he's an elite coach. He's that good. They're the one team that you just have not seen in a weekend series them play bad. You haven't seen it. They're 18-2 in the SEC. Like they're a whole nother animal right now. And again, if you ask anybody, and if you watch some of the games with Texas, they talk about it like, this was not thought to be this talented of a team. And it's like, no, you got an elite coach controlling the game. That's the difference. And if you want to look, if you ever ask the question of like how impactful can a coach be on a team, just show them Texas baseball this year. Just show them it. Show them at Texas A&M when Schloss took over there. I mean, it's like, that's the difference. Kendall Rogers also said NC State is for sure host as of right now. Yeah, I think we're still like, yeah, I think you need to see one more week before you can really lock it in. But certainly, with NC State sweeping Clemson when no one else in the ACC has beat them in a series, like that is a major statement win on the weekend for NC State. And that it's like those, like they look for things like that, like a signature series win. And that's one. Ole Miss did Ole Miss take two? Did they take the series tonight, or are they just up one? I swear some of these scores are like wrong scores. Did Irvine take game 2 against Cal Poly? So Irvine is potentially, like, if they sweep the series, they're moving into like host for sure. All right, gotta go. Haley is back. Blame Kyle. You don't have to go. That's a decision. That's a choice, Dusty. That's a choice. I think the contenders are Tennessee, LSU, Clemson, Texas. Yeah, I mean, I think those are all 4 teams that can easily make Omaha, right? They have the depth. They have the top end pit. Like, what you're looking for, okay, for a for sure Omaha team. Again, for sure doesn't mean 100%. Just means like that's a pretty easy pick. They could make it to Omaha. Do they have a few high end arms in the rotation? Right. If you have a Friday, Saturday guy, like I remember, and I can't even remember his name, and I hate it. Danny Holtzen was the Friday guy for Virginia my freshman year. He was like the best player in college baseball. And he was disgusting. 2nd overall pick. Their Saturday guy that year was like ended up being like a 4th round pick and pitched in the big leagues for like 4 or 5 years. So Virginia's 1-2 punch were 2 big league arms. And then their Sunday guy was really good too. So like that's something you look for. Tennessee's got it. LSU's got it. Clemson, I would say, has one high-end arm. Their offense is good, decent. They play really good defense, especially in the outfield. But they just seem to have a knack for winning close games. But NC State's figured them out this weekend. So I would say I would leave Clemson out of that category, actually. I don't think they fit the bill. Texas has just showed they're the best team in the country this year, so you have to be able to pick them. Even though losing Spencer on Friday is a big loss in terms of, again, winning a regional, getting to a super regional, because the regional play is the hardest part of the thing. It's just a foreign format to you as a player, even if you've played in them, because you're so used to playing 3-game series. And this is like win or go home. So it's a different mindset. You have to shift your mindset as to like this game has to be won. And that's always your mindset. But like it's It's kind of even more focused on when you're in a regional, because if you lose, you go to the losers bracket, and now you have a terrible path to winning the regional. So you got to win game one. It's just a different thing. You forgot to add Miami in that, John. ASU and Miami. NC State has only lost one ACC series all year. Pretty consistent to me. Yeah. That's the thing, is like, even when NC State, like you said, Zach, they've only lost one ACC series. And I could be wrong. I think they got swept. Did they get swept by Stanford? I think they got swept by Stanford. I could be wrong. One of you guys could probably check that for me. But they kind of snuck up on everybody, though. I think that one. No. They're what is NC State's record? Let me check. All right, they're 15-6 in the ACC. So I think one of those was a sweep against Stanford. So they looked bad out the gate. Like the first two, it was, I believe that was the second series of the year. So they were 2-3 at that point. Nope. NC State lost 2 out of 3 to Duke. So they've just lost, and then a bunch of just 2-1s, 2-1s, 2-1s. But they, like, what my whole point was, they've kind of snuck up on everybody. Like, they've actually played really well this year in the ACC, but like nobody's really been talking about them at all. Now they will be, after sweeping Clemson, who's number 2 in the country. But they kind of have snuck up on people. Houston, so Cougs can join us. Arkansas, Tennessee, LSU, Texas, FSU, NC State, Irvine, Georgia would be my Omaha 8 right now. My concern with Georgia is, no doubt they have the talent. My concern is still the pitching. They've kind of figured it out, but like again, when almost your entire rotation is like different than what you thought it was going to be at the start of the year, it's hard for those guys that end up being in there to be able to be good enough to really. Bad base running, man. I can't even focus because I just saw the worst base running I've ever seen in that Tennessee LSU game. So guys, that should have been a play where Elander has a chance to send him home. Watch where this is hit. It's nowhere close to the shortstop. Okay, so look at Marine. I think that's Marine on second. The shortstop is playing behind him. A ball gets hit in front of him, and he freezes to see it go through, which again, this is like almost he's too fundamentally sound. You have to be able to make decisions, even though you know what the basic fundamental is. In there, shortstop's not playing a traditional position in shortstop, so a ball hit to your right, you got to get an instant jump. And then make it Elander's decision to send you or not. NC State doesn't play Stanford. All right, who did Stanford sweep? That's it. Elander's off my list. No, it wasn't Elander's fault. That's on the base runner. The base runner's got to make the proper read. And as your third base coach, you're making a decision to send the runner up in a large part based on how good of a jump he gets on the base hit. It really just comes down to matchups in these regional and supers. Depends on who gets a good draw. That's true, Zach, but again, the regional format, you could play like 5 games in a row, like in a 4 or 5 day span, in a 4-day span. So the problem is, if you have to play 5 games in a 4-day span, your pitching staff is going to be destroyed. And so it's like, if you don't have the depth, if you don't have that deep of a bullpen, and just a bullpen full of arms that can come in and get outs and at least have good stuff, like an LSU or a Tennessee and a lot of these other teams we're talking about, the regional becomes very difficult to win. And I know that because, I played in I played in 2 regional final games, and like that last game, you're just like, all right, who do we got that can pitch today? Like that's it. That's the game plan. The game plan isn't like, all right, we're gonna go. He's gonna start, and then we're gonna go to our good guy here, our good guy. Like your good guys are spent at that point because it's must win. Like you lose one game, you got to win the rest of them, right? You got to win the rest of them in a row. So you can't, unless you have a big lead in a couple of those early games, like you're gonna use your big time arms, and probably use them multiple times. Couple days in a row. So by the time you get to the regional final, you like those guys like legitimately can't pitch. Not just for health reasons, their stuff's not going to be as crisp. They're not used to doing that ever all season. Pitching 3 days in a row. That stuff you see in the big leagues. You don't really even see that in the minor leagues now. Bullpen arms until they get to AAA. And then they kind of want to start training them like how they'll be used in the big leagues, which means like, oh, hey, can you throw? I know you've thrown 3 days in a row, an inning 3 days in a row. Can you throw for us tomorrow? Like that's the questions you're asked in the big leagues. And so your college pitchers are just not prepared to do that. It's not something they've ever done. They're going to be fatigued. Like I said, their stuff's not going to be nearly as sharp. Big at bat for Ensley here. Again, 3-1 count, 1 out, bases loaded. The one thing you're telling yourself is get under the baseball. Get inside it, get underneath it. You cannot ground into a double play in this situation. And in a 3-1 count, bases loaded, I'm making this right down the middle. Like I'm not gonna swing at something and chase it that's even on the fringe part of the zone. Wait. Oh, they got the wrong count on the board. All right, it's 2-0. Same thing, though. Same thing. Now, he's living away from you. So if you want to make an adjustment, get up on the box. He's got that. He's going to try to backdoor that 2-seam sinker he's got and make it easier for you to reach. Same place he's going, right? He's just trying to peck, and he's picking a little too much. Like with bases loaded, man, you're throwing 97 with the sinker. Like just throw it over the plate. Like we can't afford to walk him. Ground ball gets us out. You have a sinker. Let your sinker work and get the ground ball. Don't worry about throwing it on the corner. Throw it right there again. This guy's throwing 97, 98 with sink. With run and sink. It's 3-1 now, Canes. Do any of these teams besides like LSU, Tennessee, and Texas really have a bunch of elite arms in the pen? Yeah, they do. They do. And it's not about the whole bullpen is elite. Like every bullpen is going to have 2 or 3 guys that are like their go-to guys. That's true of everyone. It's the thing at like LSU, and I remember this with Vandy in our regional final. A guy named Adam Ravenel, who ended up pitching in pro ball. I don't know if he got to the big leagues. He came in regional final. He had like 4 innings on the year and was throwing 98 for Vandy because this was back in Vandy's prime heyday. This was back when Vandy was, the best team in the country every year. It was Vandy, Virginia, and, a few others. And like that guy had thrown 5 innings on the year and was throwing 98. So like he obviously hadn't been very effective for Vanderbilt in the early season when he pitched because they would have pitched him more. But it's still a guy coming in, out of the pen throwing 98 instead of like your last guy in the pen at a lot of schools, even the SEC and ACC is like 89, So it's just it's that difference. I think Clemson loses back-to-back series next week against FSU. Yeah. I mean, that would be crazy, right? Like, let's say Clemson after next weekend is 14-10 in the ACC. Like, all of a sudden you're worried about them too. They were number 2 in the country. They get swept, and then next weekend they lose it again, albeit to a highly ranked FSU team. So it's not going to be nearly as, again, a bad of a loss. And again, I think NC State has shown this year they're better than the number 25 team in the country. Again, the ACC just seems to be, if you're outside of like Clemson and who is it? What's the other? Florida State in the ACC. I think those guys are, everyone else like Georgia Tech, Louisville, NC State, are all kind of undervalued. And a lot of teams, it's funny, a lot of teams like Virginia, who's playing well now, Duke, who's playing well now, who were preseason top 12 and Virginia was number 2. Like, they haven't found their way back into the rankings yet, even though they're starting to play well. Any chance West Virginia can get a national seed? I don't think so. I think a national seed will be, I think for West Virginia, they can get a host. They can't get a national seed. Unless they just, again, if they just purely dominate the rest of the way. But, I think in their conference, they can do that. So, I mean, I guess it is possible. But Florida State's, they're tied in a series with Louisville right now. So again, it's like there's a lot of really good teams in the ACC, man. Like, think about how Miami's playing right now. Like, I think the conference itself looked a little shallower after the start some of these clubs had, like Duke and Virginia, who just looked terrible for most of the year. Because those teams played so poorly early, and NC State played really bad, pre-conference, everyone kind of looked at the ACC like, oh, it's not as good as we think this year. So all the rankings have kind of been, they've been undervalued, in my opinion. And I think that's the reason. All right, same approach here, man. One thing you can't do, ground into double play. You got to get inside the baseball and elevate it. This umpire, I will say, is a pretty tight zone. The LSU crowd is like all over the umpire. This is a big situation in the. I mean, like the difference between 4-2 and 6-2 in the 8th inning. Like, this is a massive. This is a big point in this game. All right, even here with 2 strikes, like even with a 2-strike approach, you still have to be telling yourself, I'm trying to put the ball in play. I'm not going to strike out. But if I'm going to put it in play, I have to get underneath the baseball. Like, I have to hit the bottom half of the baseball here. And that's just a really, I mean, he gives you a hanging slider, and you just trying to hit it to the moon instead of just hitting a line drive somewhere. I mean, the slider's just right down the middle. It's just Tennessee is 0 for 4 on the weekend with bases loaded. That's tough. Oh, four plate appearances or at bats. Oh, man. And that's it right there. But I will say, like, you know what? Guys that I played with, they're not trying to backhand that. They're jumping in front of it and knocking it down. Like, he just does. Like, he just doesn't try to get in front of it. He definitely could have. You think that brutal? You think that's it? I mean, that's kind of, again, that's a big momentum shift in the game. Like if you get out of that jam, you really high chance of scoring that next inning because you're just like you got the motivation. Like, all right, we got, you know what, we're down 2, but it could have been way worse. When you give up 2 runs there, it's like, golly, this late, like down 4, like that's the like immediate reaction you have. Dang, that looks like that could have been fielded. Oh, 100%. First of all, the footwork was terrible. You either got to back up on that and play it into a bigger, longer hop, or you just got to come get it and catch it before it hits the ground. And he did the worst thing, which is he didn't gain any ground or give any ground. And then he just, instead of taking 2 steps to his right and getting in front of it and trying to glove it or block it, he tries to backhand an in-between hop, and that's the hardest thing to do. Like forehanding an in-between hop is still difficult, but it's much easier because you're just more comfortable over here. Backhanding it is definitely more difficult. It looked like that way last night, and then they came back. Yeah, true. Uh-oh. Three-run homer. That's it. Yeah, it's over now. All right, boys. With that home run, I'm gonna call tonight. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow for kind of post-weekend just review and kind of where teams are at and what it looks like postseason wise.